Hi everyone, my name is Andy. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to 2023. Even though we're already a week in the new year, still Happy New Year. So today I'm going to be talking about my language goals for 2023. Just talking about a few of the things that I hope to achieve in terms of the languages that I'm learning, and I'm gonna go through them with you. So I'm not a person who usually does goals or set goals, especially like New Year's goals and things like that, just because I don't know, I always feel like I'm setting myself up for failure. Um, but we're going into 2023 with a different attitude. I actually got like really inspired to do this by the videos from content creators here on YouTube that I watched in this first few days of the new year, especially in a links video I'm gonna put on in the description if you guys want to check it out. I liked how she was very specific about each language and the goals and whatnot, because sometimes with goals, if you're too general, you end up like losing yourself and then you end up not doing it. So yeah, I think I did a good job at like um, adapting these goals for each language. If you don't know, if you just clicked on a video and you know nothing about this channel, I'm currently learning two languages, and they are French and Swedish. However, I am at a different levels in both of these, which is very common to anyone who like is learning more than one language at the same time. Because I started studying French way before I started Swedish. So obviously I am at a different level. In French, I think I am like at an intermediate level, whereas with Swedish, I'm definitely more still at a basic level. So I tried to adapt. Um, I try to like keep that in mind when I did these goals. I think there's one or two that kind of interpolate it. They're the same for both languages, but y'all gonna see. Let's go. I'm rambling too much already. So I have it here in front of me, my computer on Notion. That's just where like I just write it down, nothing fancy. So I'm gonna start with French. My first goal for French this year is start thinking in French. So this is actually a part of a little like challenge thing that I did for myself that I do want to make a video about, but it's going to come probably just at the end of the month. It's kind of like a January challenge, specifically for French. And I've been learning French for a while, like I said, but I haven't really started thinking in the language yet. And I think that's a really, really important step. I don't know if I mentioned this in the new videos, but English is actually not my first language, it's Portuguese. But I think in English all the freaking time, all the time. I can be reading something in my native language and then I'm like thinking English. Sometimes I say things out loud in English and I'm like, wait, people around me don't speak English. I'm gonna sound crazy. Yeah. So that's a really, really important part in a language learning process in terms of like internalizing the language. So yeah, I really want to do that, and I think that if I don't like go head on and like set a goal for it, I'm not gonna do it. So yeah, thinking French, definitely something I want to do. So my second goal is actually read 10 books in French. So last year, 2022, I only read one book in French, and I was a bit disappointed in myself because I did throughout the year, I would always thinking like, oh, I need to read more. I'm gonna read more in French this year. It's the year that I'm gonna like heighten my level, because when I start reading in a language, that's when I feel like I really have like I don't know, like a progress. So yeah, but I only read one. This year I am setting 10 books. I already have somewhat of a list planned. They're mostly on Kindle because it's not that easy for me to find like physical books here where I live in other languages, not even in English, especially in French. So they're mostly on Kindle, and I'm really excited. And the first one I'm gonna read is actually also part of that January challenge that I am doing. Okay, so my third goal for French is write every week. That is another really important step of a language learning process that I usually procrastinate doing it. But it's something that I really need to improve, especially with French, because the writing in French can be pretty different from the pronunciation. So yeah, I will try to do this like throughout the whole year. If I can do it like every single week, right, in the year, at least I'll try to like keep some sort of consistency with it, and like even if it's like every 2 weeks or something, I really need to do that. Okay, so the next one, it's one that I'm actually really excited but also really nervous about it, and that is actually make a video entirely in French. I put a video because I didn't want to shoot for the stars too much, but I actually want to make more. Like, I really do want to make videos, multiple. Speaking or trying to speak the languages I'm learning, I adore these sort of videos here on YouTube. So I just have to get out of my head about it and do it. So yeah, I really want to do that. And the last two goals, they actually kind of tie into each other, and they are update my French playlist. I have a French playlist on Spotify. I put it in the link as well if you want to check it out. It's in dire need of an update. I kind of already went through it a few days ago and like kind of took some songs that I just like don't listen to, but I really want to update that. And that ties into the next one, next goal, which is discover new artists. I love doing this. Well, just in general, but also when it comes to language learning. Music is something very prominent in my life. I'm always listening to music or playing or singing. And is a method of learning that I use a lot for languages. That's kind of how it started with English in the first place. So yeah, with that said, I really need to discover more artists that sing in French, whatever their nationality is. So because my playlist is a bit, I need more variation. I feel like my French playlist is like only Angèle. I love her with all my heart, but I want more variation. Also to get exposed to like different accents and so I can um, really practice my listening as well. So those were my goals for French. Yeah, and I'm really excited to actually get them done. Hopefully. Okay, now we're moving on to Swedish. Svenska. Let's go. Okay, so for Swedish, I have one more than what I did in French, but we're gonna get to that. So for Swedish, my first order of business, is that how you say it? Anyway, the first goal that I have is actually finish my Duolingo course. Yeah, I am like halfway through it because the Swedish course, at least if you're taking like from English, if you're using English as a base, which I'm doing it, um, it's like not that long, but I haven't picked it up in a while. It's kind of like abandoned. Okay, so my second goal for Swedish is finish my YouTube playlist. This is a playlist that I have on YouTube from when I started my studies in Swedish. I think it's from like two different channels that I have that I just saved, like basic things that I still really am interested in, like going through them, but I haven't like watched them. I kind of abandoned them as well, and I really want to finish the whole like playlist this year. So okay, my third goal in Swedish is read 5 books in Swedish. So in French, I put 10, right? Here I put 5. Um, just like I said, I try to like adapt to the level that I'm in. I'm not really reading in Swedish yet. I did read one book. It was like a children's book last year, which was exciting that I got to do that. But yeah, the one problem that I find with Swedish, even more than French, is that it's really hard to find books. I don't even like have hopes for finding them like physically, like physical copies. But even online, it's hard to find them. But yeah, I'm trying to find a way now. I'll definitely do it. Read 5 books in Swedish this year. That will be interesting. Okay, so my, what is this, fourth? Yeah, my fourth goal is write every month. So this, I put it here a little like side note for me, like try at least, because I don't know if I'll be able to do like that. Because if I'm not really reading Swedish, I'm not really writing it either. But I don't think I need to wait to try. I'm gonna try it even if it's like 2 sentences every month. Okay, my next one is make a video in Swedish, and I also did a side note here if I can. Yeah, as in right now, I don't think I could do like a full-on like 5-minute video or something in Swedish, unless you want to hear me like uh, you know, stumbling over the words and having to look it up every word every 5 seconds. But I hopefully I can, develop more my skills in a language where I can do maybe a 3-minute video even or something like that. But I really want to do at least one in Swedish this year here in the channel because I think that's a really cool exercise even for you to see like where you're making mistakes, where you like maybe when you're speaking at a time you don't realize it. By doing these videos, I actually realize things that I say in English sometimes that I'm like, what? That's not the right. That's not the correct usage of that word or that phrase. That sounded a bit weird. So it's kind of like a exercise too for me to see like my mistakes and where I can improve. Okay, and my last 2 goals, there are the same as my last 2 in French. They kind of go together. And they are update my Swedish playlist. Same thing that I said with my French one. Also will be on the description below if you want to check it out. And then the next goal would be discover new artists. So these 2 are like together. Um, I have some really cool artists in my Swedish playlist, but I haven't really like dived into their like music and whatnot. I feel like I've done more of that with French than Swedish. So I really want to do that, especially discovering new artists. That is such a cool thing, guys. It's a tip that I leave to anyone who might be watching this. If you love music, if you like following artists on social media, like following their careers and whatnot, that's a really cool way to incorporate the language that you're studying, but like turning into entertainment for you. Like I said, in my French playlist, one of the most prominent artists there is an artist called Angèle, and it's kind of like a new favorite artist, period, not just an artist that sings in French, just an artist in general that I found out. So I really want to do that too with Swedish. I do listen to a lot of Omar music. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I did a video about like Young Bros. He's one of the lead actors in, and he plays Simon from the show on Netflix. But he mostly sings in English these days, so I love him and I always listen to his music, but not necessarily for Swedish anymore. So yeah, but I really, really, really want to discover new artists. I love doing that. So yeah, guys, those were my language goals for 2023. Hope you liked the video. If you're thinking about doing that, like setting goals for your language learning or whatever it is this year, there's still time, even if a week has gone by, that's nothing. Hope you liked it. If you did, please like the video and think about subscribing to this channel for more content like this.